the DNC, but sorry, it's reporting directly to the NEDCOM. What was the reason? What was the process? And is this something that has been done before?
It was never done before. And at some point, my advice to the National Commissioner was that, National Commissioner, if you take crime intelligence and they report to you direct, you must know that the crime intelligence, there are always problems in crime intelligence. You are going to sign things there and you will be implicated together with them. You need to have someone in between you and crime intelligence in such a way that whatever they sign, because the people of crime intelligence can put a document together that looks legitimate, that is clean and neat and nice, and you will sign that document, but at the ultimate end, you will be implicated. And that was my advice to the National Commissioner. So the National Commissioner, as it happened, the structure has been changed, crime intelligence report to him. But as you can see that in some instances where mention is made that it is something that General Khumalo signed, that he also signed. So I'm saying if I were to be the National Commissioner, I would make sure that these people report to somebody who report to me, so that in case there is a situation there, it will always come to me. It will always be such that someone will explain to me what happened here. And then we can say, okay, refer this to points for audit or do this or do that. But if you don't, I can tell you, you are going to land in problem many times.
But it was reporting to you, General, but it didn't report to you. So does it make much of a difference? I mean, you were there supposed to be that buffer, but from your testimony, it sounds like they didn't report to you anyway. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yes, they were meant to really subvert and then work around me, because every now and then you will hear that General Khumalo is in that side. Sometimes you are sitting in a meeting somewhere with the National Commission, you will see him sneaking into one of the office, and the National Commission will go have a meeting with him. But the bottom line is he never reported to me, and he undermined me in all respect. That is why even when he advertised the position of the provincial heads, and I said I will chair this post, he refused. I said, okay, let me write the letter to the National Commissioner with the hope that the National Commissioner will support me as his deputy. The National Commissioner said, put it there. Let me apply my mind. For almost 4 or 5 months, the National Commissioner hasn't responded to me. Even now, I haven't received any response from the National Commissioner. So the problem is myself. I try to also make sure that we employ the right people, not only the people where you find that now General Khumalo has got his own people all over and everywhere, and he selected his own panel that consists of Letondo, Lushaba, and someone else, and then from someone from outside. But most of the time, his special team is Matondo, Lushaba, and himself. That is why they are all three also arrested in the same thing.
Okay, let me, I want to step off crime intelligence and go into my last area of questioning. General, there's cases that I'm interested in, which I hope that having led at least in detection and crime intelligence, you would know. You included an information note about Jerry Boshoga. I'd like to know if you know what happened to Jerry Boshoga. Also, General Mfazi, what happened to General Mfazi? And then the last one, the case or the allegations of a case around General Masemula. Would you know anything about that as well?
Jerry Boshoga is a I'm told he was a businessman who actually was kidnapped. I don't have the exact date.
Sorry, General, you said was. You're speaking in past tense. Is Jerry Boshoga still alive?
At this present moment, I don't know. Nobody can say. It's quite some time and there hasn't been a communication in a long time. But he's been since kidnapped. We were receiving videos of him being assaulted, serious assault, where he was being battered and he was pleading for his life, and we were all touched. And we were all trying. I've put many teams together. We communicate. We call the service providers. We've put a team together. We've hit every house, even that what was suggested by the family. And when they say go there, we went and we hit. Sometimes we followed the phones where we thought Jerry was. We followed when we get there. It's in Limpopo. That's the wives of maybe Mr. Matala's family. We hit that house. No, it's not the right place. So we've been all over. But I was even approached by the family, the brother-in-law of Mr. Boshoga, and then we called on everybody to be part, including intelligence, including Gauteng. They've been working together. Even now, it is the team that is still running on Jerry Boshoga's matter. It hasn't been traced, and they're working with the family. And the family is happy. I've got the report here. When it comes to the issue of the second one before the National Commissioner?
General Mfazi.
General Mfazi passed on. I was not in back yet, and there are some kind of investigations that are being conducted apparently because they suspect poisoning apparently, but I don't know the facts around it.
Sorry, the report said General Mfazi was investigating corruption within SAPS and he may have been poisoned. Did SAPS ever investigate that?
It is under investigation. I know that.
The alleged case against General Masemula?
I haven't seen any. I don't know about it at all. I was never involved even in the process of or whatever allegations or statement. I was never engaged at all.
Is there a case?
I don't know. What I saw is on the media that was talking. I think I don't know whether it was Daily Maverick or what, but there was no, it was News 24 article where they had an article on that. But whether there's a case, maybe IDEC can say, or NPA, but personally, I don't even know the facts.
General, I'm going to push you here. If a whole national commissioner is being investigated, would perhaps yourselves, I think also from crime intelligence, not want to have a sense of what's happening with the national commissioner?
You see, the problem is initially, when the story of the Louis Vuitton bag came in, that the national commissioner and General Ntantam Khonazi are involved in a scandal where they received some Louis Vuitton bags. Everywhere where we're going, you would hear that there is this story of the Louis Vuitton bags. Then at some point it happened that we have a meeting with the management of IDEC. We were going to have a management with IDEC so that we can support them with the officials, the detectives. It was before they were now made to be a fully fledged directorate that was approved now. So we went there, and then after the meeting, I said to the head, in the presence of the national commissioner, I said, tell me, everywhere where we go, we get to hear that the national commissioner is under investigation. We see the newspapers that the national commissioner is under investigation. Is our national commissioner under investigation? So that this thing can be clarified. She said, National Commissioner, there is no investigation that we are investigating against you. We were relieved. We were happy. We all left. It was me who said that. I was with the National Commissioner because he could not ask it himself. I asked. We left, knowing that the National Commissioner is not under investigation. So if there is any other investigation that is there, not to my knowledge.
Okay. So in your testimony or your oral evidence, I think it was in response to Honorable Souls, you said Generals Masemula, Khumalo, Mkhwanazi, and I think Patekile, I may have gotten the name wrong, they are a clique. So who is your clique, General?
In my case, I arrived alone in the police, and I still feel that I was rejected because, remember, I was out, I was removed, and I came back. There's people who still felt that I should not have been back. Because if you remember, General Mkhwanazi did say that this man was dismissed. I don't know why the management didn't oppose that he comes back. And now I'm here. I've been working hard on my own. I don't have a person that I can say is a clique because I don't have management grouping that is my clique.
So you're a faction of one.
Maybe.
General, I was going to ask you when your problem started with General Masemula, but I think you've spoken about that. But what I wanted to know is that you've already indicated that your problems with General Mkhwanazi started during that AKA murder case investigation. But between then and when Minister Mkhunu decided to call a peacemaking meeting, I think you called it at some point, what was happening? Because the AKA's murderers were arrested quite a while ago. So what is it that Minister Mkhunu saw in the intervening period and decided he must call you to make peace?
We tried several times to engage with General Mkhwanazi to make peace between myself and General Mkhwanazi. And I think I mentioned earlier that at some point I mentioned that I sent one of my members who is very close to General Mkhwanazi to actually go sit down with General Mkhwanazi and say, I'm here, sent by General Sibiya. General Sibiya wants us to talk. He wants us to try and find a way of what can be done really to solicit peace between the two of us. Then we speak and then everything is okay. Then we start talking with General Mkhwanazi. Then the next thing you will hear, one day General Mkhwanazi is very angry again on something that happened. When you ask our General, I thought we spoke. He said, yeah, but nina young manager nina. Young manager nina. And how are we managing you now? Because we spoke, but and then the information that I got is that the National Commissioner said to General Mkhwanazi, no, don't listen to him. He's managing you. Don't listen to him. Now I'm sitting in that situation of I'm trying to make peace this side, and this side it is my boss who's saying, no, don't make peace with him. He's just managing you. So it is in that situation that in which I find myself. I have tried very hard to make sure that there is peace because why? It was affecting my performance in terms of one province, you don't have access, but all other provinces you have access. So I wanted to have that thing resolved. The National Commissioner, I asked him several times to make peace between us and KZN. He said, no, I will at the right time. But if I was the National Commissioner and I know that two of my senior managers, they've got a problem, I'll call them both today or tomorrow and we'll resolve this thing going forward. It won't be something that must go on and on and on and on up until we are where we are now.
Okay, I see that the red light is on, so I'm going to do like other members and say I have three last questions, Chair. On paragraph 75, you said that one of your colleagues told you that General Mkhwanazi made threats to arrest you. You indicate that you wrote to General Khumalo and you discussed the matter. Now you are very explicit there that it was General Mkhwanazi who made threats to arrest you. General Sibiya, this communication that you wrote to General Khumalo is not part of the bundle. So what happened to that communication between you, General Khumalo, and General Masemula on General Mkhwanazi wanting to arrest you?
It was
like, what are all these threats of arresting it?
It was an SMS, a WhatsApp message that I wrote to General Khumalo. He even responded by saying that maybe what we need to do is to call the person who said that so that he can tell us. But obviously, he knew that I will never call the person to say, that person will come and say, yeah, you said this, you said that. But the bottom line is that what I was told that he said, when I want to arrest your boss, or because I said, I hear this senior manager going around saying he's going to arrest me. I've received many complaints against General Mkhwanazi. I could still do the same and say, I want to arrest him. I could still do the same. Not that I am stuck somewhere, I can't lift my foot and then he can do it and I can't do it. But at the same time, you try to make sure that you're not on the same level. Build peace, make peace. Let's not be Like the same way he stood up and made a press briefing. I was not allowed to stand up also and then go toe to toe with him. Then it becomes like police now are at each other's throat in the media. So he did it, but there must be a difference in the level of maturity. I had to go down and find a way of how do I manage this situation. So that in the very first thing the presidency did, they said, we want to see your response, we want to see this, we want to see that. If I was reckless and maybe I went all out and said the wrong things, maybe I would have been in trouble.
Okay, General, I'm going to ask these two last questions together in the interest of time. I don't want to go into the basis of your relationship or otherwise with Mr. Matlala, Mr. Mohotsi, but I need to know what is the basis, according to you, of General Mkhwanazi alleging a corrupt relationship. Do you think that in that evidence in camera, he would have issues that he is raising against you there? That's my first question. Secondly, do you think that it is still possible for yourself, General Mkhwanazi, General Khumalo, and General Masemula to ever work together again in the interest of the South African people? The other issues I wanted to raise about the service provider, Matlala, I'll leave. But so do you think you're being mentioned there is the things that we are not seeing because we don't have access to what is in camera that form the basis of General Mkhwanazi saying there's a corrupt relationship between yourselves? And this I'm taking directly from our terms of reference. And then do you think there's ever hope for the situation to be salvaged?
Personally, because those SMSs are not placed before me, and I've never been, they were not made privy, or I'm not privy to this type of communication and messages or whatever evidence there is. Mine is just to wait for my turn or for my time or when the bomb explodes. That's the first part. The second part is that it is so unfortunate, the situation in which I find myself, that when your colleagues are saying they're pushing you out and they make life so difficult and they even paint your name so black out there to the public and everything in such a way that they create an irretrievably broken relationship. Now I must be the one who end up suffering. And then I also have a family. I also have kids and they are small. I also have people, I was working, it's my career. And now for a certain group or team to say, no, we're pushing him out and it's not going to see that position, it's not fair. And I wish the president can be the father of all of us, not all of those who make allegations against others and others must lose. So I'm saying I've got a career also, I've got a family, but if there is wrongdoing on my part, I will stand for it. I will face it if I've done wrong. But let them not spend more time here trying to witch hunt, leaving KZ, and there's a lot of crime that is being committed here, but they spend more time here because they want to get me in a corner. And this in-camera testimony, can we be also part of it so that we know what we are being accused of? Because now it is becoming not a fair process.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, General. And maybe just through you, Chair,